Whether man or machine, everything on this planet runs by some sort of fuel. If you're a machine, you might want to be careful if you visit this gas station, because Greasepit might take you for a pretty unexpected ride, and he's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, baby, light them up. And hit that notification bell, please, because it helps me out a ton, let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors NL, The Autobot Family, Transformers vs. G.I. Joe vs. DC Universe vs. Marvel, and have a look for me all across social media. All those links are down in the description. While you're at it, why not check out our Patreon and see what we offer to you through Teespring. And this is the new Generation Selects Greasepit. A lot of people have looked at the guy. He has some weird modes. First things first, I like the characterization because he's kind of like a fuel collector for the Decepticons, and he does it in such a devious way by posing as a gas station to kind of siphon off energy from all those who are unfortunate enough to kind of pull in thinking they're getting service from this station. Not from the guy, from the station. I like that we have an additional little piece over here. It wasn't needed, but it's a nice little sign piece, and it does homage back to the original G1. The original G1, of course, did not have a robot mode. It had a micromaster. But if you're going to give it a robot mode, this is a great one. I loved Ironworks, and I kind of love this guy. Now, that's not to say I love everything about this guy. There are a few modes here that are depicted in the instructions. I'll kind of, sort of show the transformations. We really covered most of the transformations with Ironworks before, but there's the gas station mode. That's kind of where we'll start. Then I'll show how to go to another weird ramp mode. It's an odd one, and it's a little cumbersome to get there as far as I'm concerned. Then I'll kind of just jump to his battle station mode, because it's really the exact same battle station mode that we showed the transformation for with Ironworks. And then, of course, we'll go to the robot mode and see how well this guy actually fares. Spoiler, he's going to fare pretty well, but enough of me gushing. Let's head over to the table and take a closer look at this lad. And yes, indeed, I suppose, in a way, you're kind of seeing double, since, in essence, this is the same mold used twice, with a couple of remolded parts, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same thing. We don't have a box because, you know what? We've looked at the boxes for Selects many times. It's that ugly little brown box, but we will very quickly take a look at the instructions first. And yes, indeed, here we have the instructions for Selects Greasepit, and they're fine. They're a bit smaller in terms of the pictures than we've seen sometimes with the Earthrise offerings, but it's pretty clear for the most part, and I feel like they cover a bunch of modes here. I don't feel like Ironworks covered the same number of modes. Maybe I'm wrong, man. That was a long time ago and I'm an old guy. What do you want? And speaking of Ironworks, here we have the two guys, Ironworks and Greasepit, combined. Now, in actuality, they probably wouldn't go combined because Ironworks is an Autobot, Greasepit is a Decepticon, but this is kind of how the whole idea works with these little micromaster bases. And in essence, that's what they are. The intention is for micromasters to be able to kind of drive around on these. Admittedly, if you actually take a micromaster, though I don't have one handy here now, if you happen to take a micromaster and put it here, it's still kind of big compared to the gas pumps in some people's estimation and the building. And I get it, but I think it's good enough. I mean, it's as successful as the G1 base modes were. I mean, they were a little undersized as well. And funny enough, a long time ago, last summer, I talked about the G1 Micromaster bases a lot. In fact, I looked at G1 Greasepit in episode 530 and said then that I really liked that base and I would love to have a updated version of it, and lo and behold, a year later, what do we have? To be fair, I thought that Ironworks turned out tremendously well. And I looked at Ironworks in episode 672. And the scores that I gave him were 10 for his paint apps, because why not? We really kind of don't have a robot mode to compare to, and this is pretty accurate to the original base mode. I said that the articulation was a 9.5, and I said the transformation was a 9. We're gonna see if Greasepit is just as strong, if not stronger, than Ironworks. So Ironworks' overall score was about a 9.5. Fantastic offering, even if a little quirky. And now we can focus closer in on Greasepit himself, and I love this. I think that this looks fantastic. It's obviously supposed to be a gas station. I like that we have the sign up here with that super fuel, the Z1 super fuel, and if you know anything about Greasepit, in essence, the gas station component siphons, I think, like the energon off of micromasters or off of, I guess, any vehicle that would fill up here, but it doesn't really register that they're out of fuel until they basically break down. So he kind of steals energy and I guess hoards it for Decepticon purposes. I don't know. Nevertheless, it's very true to the original base. We got the yellow, the blue, the gray. We even got the yellow gas pumps. Even the coloring on the sign. Honestly, it's really, really close and really well done. Now, does that mean it's a 10? No, not quite, because while the sign is accurate, it should be kind of out on a front corner more. While the gas tanks are, again, pretty accurate, they shouldn't really be over to the side. They should be out, again, on the front a little bit more. So while all the colors are here, the layout's a little bit different. So I'm going to say it's a 9. If you know Greasepit, you're not going to mistake this, but it is slightly stylized from what it is. And even the ramp, like by rights, the ramp, though it's gray here, should be like a yellow color. So like, I get it, I understand it, but it's a little bit different than what it should be. Now this is only his first mode. Now he does have a few more that are a little iffy. I guess I'll show them, but really I don't know. I don't know how successful they are. So we're going to take all of this apart and get it apart, and we'll take all of that there off as well and get all this out of it and get this here out of it. And is this the side I want to start with, or is it the other side I want to start with? I think it's this side I start with. And in essence, you take one of these and put it in on the side, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe do I have this done right? Not even sure I got this done right, man. I guess it's like that. Then we take another piece and we kind of put it in right there. That's like his, I guess his waist piece, and one of his arms that we just sort of like left on there. Then we take the other leg, and the other leg kind of goes over on the other side with the handle out, like kind of like this. And I believe we're supposed to now put this piece on the front. Now I could be doing some of this wrong, guys. Like, bear with me a little bit here. I believe that goes on the front in that manner. Oh, and it fell over. Let me solidify this and then we'll pick things up. Okay, so I've got that in, and then we basically turn all of this around and try and keep it all in there. I don't think I really like this mode that much, but nevertheless I can do it. We'll keep going. We apparently pick up that and that next, which is really the legs. This arm piece comes over on the back, and apparently it will plug in to the, and I should have done this earlier I guess, to this chest peg, which is not fun to get out. Again, I gotta take a pause and I gotta get the chest peg out. It's this gray chest peg here, and that goes plugged into the 5mm port on his arm, so this will kind of hang down behind as a stabilizing leg. Like this, if you will. Then we take the whole thing again and bring it around. There's a lot of twisting and turning to get in this mode. We can take this piece and it should just kind of fit in. Pardon me. I think it goes in on the side here, and if I'm wrong about that, I apologize, but I didn't have the orange piece into this piece, and they were supposed to go together. And finally, we put the, I guess the gas tanks in behind the sign, and the sign goes down there, apparently like that, and I guess that's supposed to look good. I don't know, there's not a lot of support here. If you had a micromaster going down here, I'm not convinced that that would last. It's an option of a thing that you can do, but like I don't know if you really should. And then last but not least, basically you can do Ironworks kind of battle station mode, which we've seen before. You can go back to episode 674 and see how to get in like the battle stationing mode, which by the way I believe was undocumented in Ironworks instructions, but basically it looks like this. And indeed this is a close approximation to what we got with Ironworks, only a couple of differences. We didn't have the gas tanks with Ironworks, so they weren't there. We still had the blaster that we were able to kind of put in the front if we wanted to. You could change the hook positioning if you wanted to. You could put the blaster elsewhere if you wanted to. We didn't have the side piece, but this is basically the same sort of layout that you get with Ironworks. It's okay. You could set a couple of micromasters up on it. It would be nice if this had the ability like to support weight a bit better, but it doesn't, such is life. But this is basically his 3 base modes. Now whether you think they're all successful or not, because I like the gas station, I like this, but that other one that I kind of stumbled through the transformation of it's cumbersome for the weird look that you get in the end. I don't know. It's not for me, maybe it's for you. I can't deny though the versatility that it adds. So last but not least, we actually will go from this mode now to the robot mode, which is all in all pretty easy. We take the top off and we should be able to open that out, and we got ourselves an arm. We're going to just lay that aside. We take this piece off and we put that little peg back up, and we close the whole chest piece around, and we bring the head up and turn it around so it looks like that. Then we take the kind of whole front section off and split all of this so we have a leg, and we close this up and we have another leg. For the record, though I didn't do it with the first one there, you can pop that out, and of course pop it out on the other one. Then we come to the little like bits and pieces that we have left here, and there's not much here. This will end up going on the back. We remove this arm and the sign and all of that. This will be another arm in a few moments, and we lay that aside. We take this off, and then in essence we have the legs right here. And this is a good place for us to start, because really at this point we can take our 2 legs that we have and peg up over and I think I got that the right, yeah, I got that the right way. And then peg this one up over, and now we have a lower body. And this seems like a good time to kind of reorient things as we work on the upper body. And indeed, when we come to the upper body, what we have is a hole and a peg here, and on the back here we have a peg down here and another hole, so we can take that piece and put it in over like that. Then we come to the back and we have 2 more pegs kind of up on his shoulder blades, and we take this other lonely piece, and it has 2 pegs here or 2 pegs here, whichever way you want to do it. And we take both of those and peg them on for the back. We can put that down in the front. Then we can take his 2 arms, and over on this side we put this arm, the arm that has the hand in it, and on the other side we take the arm with the gray shoulder and we put, ooh, I can do it. Put that in there, and I guess we turn that around for an elbow, but we're not quite done, we're almost there. Over on this arm, we can put the piece in that's the sign, and then on this arm, you can take the gas tanks. There's a 5mm peg on one side that goes over right there. That's where the hook would be on Ironworks, and then you can take the whole blaster piece here and put it in right there if you're so inclined, and boom, in the end, after going through all that, here we have Greasepit in all of his robot glory. And here we have the 2 lads. I think that they look great together, to be honest with you. I love the look of Ironworks, and honestly, I think that it's a successful job for the look of Greasepit. He really kind of pops because the colors are so bright and there's so much paint on him. Now, I do think, as others have said, that The sign is a sticker as well. I'm pretty sure these shoulder pieces are also stickers. So he had a 10 for his paint apps. In terms of the transformation, well, I said that originally Ironworks was a 9.5. I think this guy's still a 9.5. Like, he's very versatile. Unless you hate parts forming, then this guy ain't gonna be for you, man. Then we get to the articulation. The head, it can go left and right. The arm, it can go all the way around, out to the side, like all the way. We have a double elbow on this arm. We have a bicep swivel, nothing at the wrist. We do have a waist, and it turns pretty nicely, although it is slightly hindered by like the backpack here. The legs can go well forward on a soft ratchet. When they go back, they get stopped, but I mean, that's no different than Ironworks. It'd be nice if they could go back more. Splits all the way out to the side, of course. We have a thigh swivel. We have a super duper deep knee, which I absolutely adore. Honestly, and we have a stiff ankle. Actually, it's not as stiff on this guy. The ankle tilt on Ironworks is really stiff. It's not as stiff on this guy, which is actually kind of nice. Again, a wrist would be nice, and maybe not having the waist hindered and the legs able to go back would be nice. It's still 9. If Ironworks overall was a 9.5, Greasepit is honestly the same thing. Fantastic 9.5. And here we are once again, man. I love this guy. I think he's fantastic. He has a ton of paint. He has stickers. Now, some people have said my stickers are peeling. It's pretty humid here. My stickers are fine. I feel like if they were going to peel, this would be the environment for them to peel in. All the joints feel fantastic. I think that the tolerances are slightly better here, at least on my copy, with Ironworks, especially like with the arms. I think some of the paint got in some of the peg holes and made them a little too snug. That doesn't seem to be the case here. Everything seems to be just tolerance right. I love the coloration. I love the functionality. The hand has been replaced with gas tanks. Being a Decepticon, I guess he'd hit you in the face with gas tanks. I don't know. That seems pretty bad to me. You know, right? I love his backstory and his characterization. He serves like a very identifiable role for the Decepticons. I said that I wanted these G1 lads to get updates. I said it last year, and I am tickled that we're getting them now. I have this guy. I have Ironworks. If you're in for the toy hack set to turn Ironworks into Rot, I mean, you could have this a third time, and I think that it's great. If you've passed over this mold, I think you're doing yourself a disservice, because it's just plain fun. Is every mode successful? Well, that ramp one is a bit iffy, but the other modes all work tremendously well. I think he turned out great. I really, really do. Of course, that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion. You know, I appreciate it when you come by and give me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know, man, how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, there's a donate link down in the description. You can see what we offer through Teespring, or of course, check out the Patreon. Please hit the subscribe button, man. Stick around, have some fun with us. Don't forget that somehow, someway, each and every single day, man, you do make a difference. And I look forward, baby, to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.